I am not Shabnam. I play Shabnam. At the end of the day, I am Shernavaz.
Yeah.
And I'm a human being first and then an actor. So you can't expect me to be smiling and acting all the time. You don't realize you're invading a human being's space. You want them to just be your picture perfect actor. Criticize our work. Criticize the shows we take up. Criticize that. You have all the right to do that. But don't criticize us when we are ourselves. Why are we not allowed to have human emotions?
Hello friends and welcome to Now Streaming. Today we have with us the very promising young actor Shernavaz Jijina. Welcome to Radio City. Very glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Shernavaz, you started your career as a model,
Yeah.
right? And now you're transitioning into an actress. So what brought about that idea, that transition?
Well, I think everyone who models does want to be an actor by default. It starts off with that. Like no one wants to stay into modeling unless and until it's ramp. I never wanted to be an actor, but I actually wanted to be a lawyer before.
Oh.
Yeah, so got my first ad, slowly got into acting, and I got Bang Baja Bharat. So it just picked up randomly.
I mean, in terms of, the happiness or the experience that you get out of it, how would you differentiate the two?
The first time I ever faced a camera, it felt surreal. Like even if I had like a crowd of 200 people around, like on set,
Right.
the minute they say action, it feels like a different sense of happiness. I feel personally as an actor that this is it. This is what I'm meant to do, and I absolutely love it. And once you love the process, once you love the camera, you don't have to act. You don't have to think it as work. So
Right.
that's why I chose to do that.
You started your first show with Ali Fazal
Yes.
and Priyanshu.
Yes.
Right? And the fact that you're working with them again
Right.
now, is working with, generally people you're comfortable with, does that help you bring out better performances?
It helps a lot. It helps a lot because you've known them for years. You know how they work. I know how Ali works. He's a fantastic actor. He does a lot of his homework right before. So for me to learn from him, every day I go on set. I mean, it's been years with Mirzapur and before that with Bang Baja Bharat. Every day I learn something new. As an actor he started off way before, he helps me become a better actor. And he makes me feel comfortable. Even Priyanshu, I don't have many scenes with him, but it's good to have that energy around. It feels like family.
Right.
You're like old friends on set again. So it's always brilliant. It's too much fun.
You've worked with some really senior actors as well,
Yes.
namely
Yes.
Pankaj Tripathi.
Yes.
Right. So does that bring more of a sense of anxiety or more of a sense of inspiration or reassurance?
A little bit of both. Obviously, sense of anxiety because you have to live up to their mark as well, not completely, because you're sharing screen space with Pankaj Tripathi or Ali. And you have to sort of match up to their energy, to their art form. And of course, it gives you anxiety. It gives you a lot of anxiety because your mind starts racing. Oh, was this fine? Oh, you become extremely critical of yourself in your work, like overly critical.
Right.
If a shot is okay, if the director's fine with it, you'll still want to go back and think, no, was it fine? Was it good? Are you sure? Because at the back of your head, you always want to match up to the other actor.
Right.
You always think, I hope, because it's give and take in one scene. If an actor's with me, unless and until I don't perform at my best, you have to balance each other out.
Right.
And I'm straight up with amazing actors. Like, they're brilliant. They know what they're doing the minute they hit the floor and they're shooting right there. They say action. They know they get into that zone. They're already in that zone before we even call out action.
Right.
So for me to learn is brilliant, but anxiety is always there. It's always going to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you have any particular mentors while you were shooting that would, help you through difficult times or difficult scenes or something?
My sort of a mentor, or like my best friend on set in a way, was my director Gurmeet Singh.
Okay.
He is an absolute sweetheart.
Right.
So even if I was worked up about a particular scene, not necessarily with Ali or with any other actor, he would make sure I'm in a better, calmer zone. He would speak to me and then that would help me. Our previous writer, Puneet, he was also, the entire set of Mirzapur, we are like a big family. So it's always, if we see someone else worked up, calm them down. And of course, Ali he's always had my back. Always. He sees if I'm nervous a little bit, he'll be like, okay, no, calm down. What's wrong? You want to change this? You want to change that? You want me to sit here? He'll change the entire thing to make me feel comfortable.
Yeah, right.
So it's brilliant.
In the show, you're speaking in a dialect which is very different from what we're speaking right now.
Absolutely.
Right. So I mean, like I told you when we were having a pre-chat before this, that there was a time where even I was trying to do acting and stuff like that. So this is one thing that always I would think that how does one very seamlessly and flawlessly pick up a different dialect where a lot of letters and words are just pronounced in a certain manner, in a particular manner.
Yeah.
So is your knowledge of different languages something that helped a lot in that?
Not with this show, no.
Okay.
This show, it was solely my writers, my director, and my entire team. We had to just keep rehearsing till to a point where when we were not shooting, also the dialect would come flawlessly. It's a lot of hard work. So, because I'm from Bombay, I'm Parsi. For me to pick up an accent of a Muslim girl in UP, it's very difficult.
Right.
So my writers would help me enunciate certain words. I would goof up a lot. So they would write it down. They would enunciate. The script would be right. Like, no, this. So it's a lot of practice. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes I feel like when I'm focusing so much on enunciation, my expressiveness will probably
that happens.
Wouldn't
that happens a lot. But that's why you keep rehearsing. To a point, you keep rehearsing the way you talk. To a point where it becomes flawless, and then you don't have to like act on screen because you never act. You want to be that character. You are that character. That's why it's never called acting. You never act.
Does that happen that from your first episode to the last episode, you're a lot more into the character or like a much more evolved version of the character?
Absolutely. And that helps with everyone. From the first season, if you see my dialect, it was not that great, and now it's getting better.
Right.
And I put in a little bit of what I feel and what I see in my day-to-day life as well in Shabnam, and that's now I feel like she's there, she's actually present, and how she would talk. I can go up to my like Shabnam will not talk like that. And since we are so used to talking like this, and when we shoot, we go to these locations and everyone's talking in the same dialect.
Right.
So it becomes more convenient.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Were you shooting other things also while Mirzapur was going on?
I was, but it's not released as yet.
Okay.
So I can't.
Did it get difficult with terms of the kind of, the characters, like we speak about the dialect, the way of speaking?
Yeah.
Sometimes you've come from working for Mirzapur, you go for another thing and you're speaking like Shabnam.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, no, this is not Shabnam.
Yeah. It gets very difficult because what I was shooting for was Shabnam is slightly docile, she's poised, she's composed. So it's very soft, and then suddenly, once you're in that zone, you're in that zone. And then when you go on another set and you have to be a very different character from that, the transition of the mood is difficult.
Yeah.
More than the dialect, you need to match that energy. Like the energy of one set is here, then the other set is there. So that gets a little difficult. But I mean...
So do you have any pre-scene rituals or something, some techniques that you used? Okay, let's get out of this, let's get into this.
No, I just start, I read my lines, I sit with my director, I read them the way I want to, and then I just get into that zone. Like I always make it a point to sit with my director before I do a scene.
Right.
Because there's always some input I would have. This is what I'd want to show, this is what I'd want to show. Because with every character, is mine. And I love every character from the bottom of my heart. And with Shabnam, it's always, there's just so many layers to her. Extreme amount of layers, because she doesn't speak much, but she speaks through her actions, through her expressions, and there's just so much going on in the background.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but it's fun. I absolutely love it. There are no rituals as such. Like I just go in the minute the camera is ready, I'm like, where's the camera? Where's the camera? I'm just going to go straight for it.
That's nice. You know how people just look from the outside, right?
Yeah.
They would look at actors and sometimes they would just, have this thought process that, they're doing what they love every day. They're famous. They have so much money. They can afford anything. They can, everyone's attracted to them. Even just the whole package in that sense. But do you think that there's a huge disconnect with that whole, that whole phenomenon and the actual struggles, the mental struggles that an actor would go through?
Absolutely. Because actors at the end of the day are humans with human emotions.
Right.
We feel hurt when someone speaks to us in a bad tone. We feel hurt, but everything that a normal person would go through. We are human beings, we are normal people. The thing is, with social media and with the hype that you have to live up to a certain way, even if you have extremely, if you're having an off day, if you're on set, you still have to put on a mask and go and act. You still have to work. But if you can't, if you're probably in a meeting somewhere, you are meeting someone else, they always expect an actor to be happy-go-lucky, jumpy. And I have noticed in a lot of ways when actors are interviewed, while they're walking past, the way they are asked to always be happy and jump. Sometimes we have a bad day. We fought with our family. We fought with someone else. I mean, we're stuck in traffic for 2-3 hours. We have off days. And we go through a lot of anxiety because of that very reason, because we have to just wear that mask everywhere we go. And the minute we get that mask off, you're criticized straight up. Oh my God, she's arrogant. Oh my God, she can't answer. But you don't realize you're invading a human being's space. You want them to just be your picture perfect actor. And most of the times people forget, I am not Shabnam. I play Shabnam. Right? I'm not my other characters. I'm an actor. At the end of the day, I am Shernavaz. And I'm a human being first and then an actor. So you can't expect me to be smiling and acting all the time. It's unfair to have an actor also behave like that throughout.
I mean, absolutely. It's just those small nuances where, you didn't look right at someone when they asked you a question. It's just because it's quite possible, you're thinking about your dog that has been unwell for the past 2 days or something.
Absolutely.
And it has no connection whatsoever with that person or what with that, but they're going to catch you at that moment. And I'm sorry I'm digressing a little bit, but it's an important thing to talk about. It's like, when you have something like a journalist right in your face right after you've gotten out from your building. And you've gotten out of your building and you're going to say something rude. But half an hour ago, you probably fought with your husband. Or fought with your mother, fought with your father, someone spoke very badly to you. And of course, when anyone is angry, they have that little sense of entitlement that, okay, you know what, now no one can say anything to me because now I'm in like that mood. And that happens to everyone.
Everyone. I mean, you travel by local trains, someone gives you a shove and the person is having a bad day. Right. So it turns into a fact. If you can give the benefit of doubt to the person traveling in a local train, why can't you give it to actors? Because we're acting. I mean, we're doing something we love. We're facing the camera. We're entertaining the audience. I agree that we are here for the public. Everything is here for y'all. Absolutely. By all means, criticize our work. Criticize the shows we take up. Criticize that. You have all the right to do that. But don't criticize us when we are ourselves. When we are walking, we're doing our daily chores, and we're having a bad day, we can break down. Like tomorrow, if I break down and I cry, and a pap catches it, and be like, oh my God, what happened? Why are we not allowed to have human emotions?
When you go out, just hang out with friends and stuff like that, do you feel to a very great extent that, you curb yourself? And so how do you find ways to, just, I mean, because after a point, I'm just, thinking about it personally right now, which is why, just like I had a little pause moment because I was like, okay, while we were talking, I was thinking that, I'm going out, I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going to just, pick up some food for my dog, I'm just, going to the vet, I'm going wherever, and I just have people looking at me the whole time, probably I have worn something that 2-3 people don't like, and so how do you find ways to, calm yourselves from that? Like, like probably some people take a weekend getaway or something like that. Like, how do you do that?
I have a few of my friends. I have like a very handful number of people who are like my family, and they understand that I have a public life now, and this is how I have to live. There just randomly might be someone taking a video or a picture. Not only paparazzi, it's anywhere you go. Now everyone has a smartphone, everyone's a journalist. They will just pick up their phone and take a video. They'll just pick up their phone, take a picture without your consent. So I have my friends who have my back. of course, my friends from the industry itself, we know how it functions.
Right.
So I try to meditate. I do a bit of yoga. I try to stay in nature as much as possible. I take a lot of solo trips.
Oh,
So that helps me. I just go alone. Because after a point, it gets so noisy out here. Just you're always surrounded by people, like continuously. There's just always someone or the other there. So I just pack up my bag and someplace in India, somewhere here and there. I don't like taking those fancy trips to Maldives and all. No. My last trip was to Munnar.
Oh, I love
And
Munnar.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it there. And I met solo travelers. So I try to do those things, try to stay one with nature as much as possible.
Right.
To get away from the city chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess, yeah, I mean, you definitely need something like that, right? Because we all need our alone time. For
Yes.
some of us, we're lucky enough to have it in the space of our own homes.
Yeah.
Some of us have to take solo trips, but I guess.
We literally have to get away.
But you brought up something very important because that was going to be my next question, but it's a great segue into it that everyone has a smartphone right now.
Yeah.
So, to what extent do you think social media has upped the anxiety of, say, of course, everyone in the sense, but especially actors? One, in terms of the surveillance part of it, where people are just having their eyes on you, or they can post you anytime, anywhere. Or because you're not just kind of journalist now, you're kind of pretty much everyone. Everyone's a journalist.
Yeah.
It's either that, or also in the sense where I have to keep my social media presence, appearance. I have to
You have to
post
stay
enough.
relevant.
Yes.
Yes. It's extremely taxing. But it's not only with actors now. It's everyone. I kid you not. I see a 5-year-old kid with an Instagram account. It's freakishly scary. And you're continuously scrolling. You're just going up. Your brain goes numb. After a point, if you can't scroll, you get restless. You start, and if one picture doesn't have a certain amount of likes, or it doesn't have a share, or if someone is commenting, someone's criticizing your picture, or you don't get this particular, it's just chaotic. It's horrible.
Right.
I mean, it has its perks, of course. You can reach out to people, you can get closer to your fans. Like, I can just pick up the phone and go on a live session, talk to my fans. I know exactly what my fans want. I mean, if I post a picture, I get the adorable, as I told you. They'll criticize this. Well, ma'am, this picture is better. So I know straight up what my audience wants. So there are perks to it. But again, once it's like a dark hole, you have to really balance it out.
Right.
Once you're completely into it, you just want to post every day. So what I personally do is I delete the app. I straight up delete the app for a few days and start posting again for my mental health, for my sanity. I don't care who else says anything, but I need to focus. I'm an actor first.
Yeah.
I need to focus on my skill, on my craft. And I can't be distracted with the number of likes I get on my picture. So, and of course, it's taxing to kids now. And they're growing up with that. They're literally growing up. Parents would just come and give the kid a tablet and the kid is just scrolling through Instagram. You don't know what you'd see out there, you know? It's, you...
And then you're going to go yell because that kid's gone numb, and that kid gone numb because...
And the kid's gone numb, there's something wrong with the kid, and then you...
Yeah.
I mean, you're handing the kid a social media platform where everyone's life is public.
Yeah.
Grown-ups can't handle it. Hell, I can't handle it. So I delete I straight up, for a couple of days, when I'm traveling, I delete the app. I'll take pictures, of course. I'll take lots of pictures for Instagram, but I'll upload that later. You need to disconnect from social media to just look up and see your own surrounding. Everywhere you go, you just see people, local trains, buses, you're walking around. Everyone is just...
Yeah.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in terms of it getting worse, but only, it's only people are getting a lot more anxious, a lot more dependent when you talk about it. And the fact that, social media detox is now a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually a thing.
I'm glad.
It's actually a thing.
Is it? Great.
Yeah, no, lots of people, I've done it myself. And lots of people, when they're like, I'm off social media for a while because I'm having a social media detox. But when you hear that statement, don't you like you have to understand the depth of the fact that it's actually become as bad as.
It's become so toxic. You have to take a detox. But that's it is like that. It is like that. But then again, you would go back to it. They don't understand the anxiety that you have while you're on that app is because you're looking for approvals from people you don't know.
Yeah.
Try to look up in your family, your friends, connect with them, get their, and you don't need anyone's approval. Yeah, I would like to say this to kids who are scrolling through. You want unknown people's approvals. No.
Yeah.
They're just gonna like, they're gonna be haters sitting behind that keyboard just for the heck of it, troll you, make a scene out of it. It's not good. It's toxic to a different level. Please just disconnect, focus on your life because you don't know when it's gonna pass you. So
yeah, I mean, the fear of missing out has reached to such a level where it's not about fear of missing out on an opportunity. It's about fear of missing out on, a social gathering.
Yeah. So it's too much. Like before eating, people take pictures of their food.
Right.
Enjoy the food. Sit there. You're sitting with someone. You know, if you're going out on a date, you're with your family. I have seen people just pick up their phone and take a picture of their food. I remember once I was at a restaurant, I was with my best friend and she called for this really nice dish, and this chick is taking pictures from different angles throughout. I was like, can I go and eat it?
Yeah.
I legit wanted to go there. Can I just eat it?
Yeah.
Just sit there, enjoy the ambience, talk to, just look up and talk.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like those, walking into restaurants where people are sitting on their phones and just
All the time. Yeah. And they just want to take pictures of this food from this angle. That eat it. Just eat the damn dish.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of guilty of that. I take pictures of my food, but that's because I love to cook. I love to.
See, now that's a different thing, right? Yeah.
It's stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like because I also like to decorate my food and all of that in my plate and serve it to someone very nicely.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that fascinates me.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. It's like everything just becomes like a picture moment before the fact that it actually has to be there.
Yeah.
Right? So we spoke about stuff like social media and how anxiety creeps in. But, and this is, of course, actors is one thing, but it's a mental health and mental health awareness has been a taboo for a very long time.
I don't know why, yeah. But.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But don't you think when it comes to something like an actor, it's I don't know, maybe I'm completely off here, but it's just a thought that's coming in my head. Sometimes it's treated as even more of a taboo. It's like, isko kya chahiye?
Yeah, all the time. Just because you have a certain lifestyle, you're facing the camera, you have love of your fans and everyone, it gets lonely at a point. You are not living your character's life. You're not living that life. And as I said, we are humans. We have more pressure to live up to the fans. We have more pressure to live up to absolutely anyone and everyone. A random journalist will come and ask me a question. I'll have to put a smile up on my face and answer it without emoting. So, as me personally, I use all my emotions, everything for my characters. I try to channelize it in the most creative way. But I've suffered through extreme anxiety. Like extreme anxiety to a point where I used to get breathless. And people should be open and they should talk about it. In a toxic environment with social media and so much pressure that you have going on in life, it can happen to anyone. You don't have to go through a traumatic incident in your life. Anxiety can creep in out of nowhere and it can hit anyone and everyone. You may have everything in the world. Like absolutely, like all the riches, all the money, all the fame, all the fans, it can still attack you out of nowhere. And it has a trigger point. It'll just seep in and come out of nowhere. So cut everyone a slack. Be a little more kind, be affectionate, show gratitude. Just randomly give a compliment to a random unknown person on the road. It's going to go a long way. You don't know what that person is going through. You have no idea. One compliment is going to make that person's day. So just be kind to one another. Stop trolling each other. Stop pulling each other down. If someone's suffering through anxiety, Talk about it. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's so many other things. We don't talk about it. And stop making a joke of and using words like, oh, I'm feeling anxious. Oh, I'm depressed. No, it's a proper disorder. People go through it. People seek help. People have medication. Everyone goes through it. Stop making it a taboo and stop turning it into like a cool statement. People say, oh my God, I'm so depressed today. Like, are you serious? Do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Talk to your family, talk to your parents, talk to your friends. You see someone's low, talk to them. Just because they're happy and smiling doesn't mean they're not going through depression. They will have it. You need to see patterns and watch out for one another. That's the least you can do, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The opinion that you gave right
Yes.
now, it was a lot, it spoke a lot about, how generally as all of us should behave with one another in terms of empathy that one should have. But when talking about specifically actors, that are facing such issues, and when you talk about, say actors that are not conventionally from a film background, just like yourself,
Yeah.
right? What kind of advice would you give to them to, deal with stuff like anxiety, depression, and just
Cut yourself some slack. You don't make it through one audition, it's fine. Give 10 more. I've been in this industry for 8 years, and here I'm just getting started. Give yourself some break, go for auditions, treat yourself to something nice. If one audition goes bad, it's okay. You have another one. It'll keep coming. If what is yours will eventually come to you, if not, you will find something around it. It doesn't have to be your life entirely. You don't have to completely, oh my God, if I'm not an actor, I am nothing in the world. No, you're a human being. You have different things. Your work is a part of you. It's not you entirely. So it's fine. And it's not that people who are in the industry as well don't have that. They have the pressure of living up to their family name.
True.
They have that anxiety that, oh, my sister's in the industry, my father was in the industry, I have to live up to that. They go through a different version of problems and troubles. So everyone has their own share. Just be kind to one another, be kind to yourself first. That's I always maintain that. We don't keep pushing yourself in the corner that because one audition didn't work out, maybe you didn't fit the look, maybe they changed the brief of the character, maybe the director has someone else in mind. It's nothing wrong with you. You give your 100% and you go ahead with it. It's fine.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's fair enough. So we spoke about how different ways people can try to help themselves, be kinder to themselves.
Yeah.
So at least people who can do it, don't you think? I mean, it's helped you a lot where you got
has.
your.
It has. You just, I don't know. Empathy goes a way, way long way.
Right.
And people forget to empathize with themselves first.
So that's for you. That's like one of the most important traits, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. When I say self-love, I don't mean, oh, go shopping. Of course, go shopping. By all means, if you want to go shopping, retail therapy is brilliant. But just don't push yourself down. If you see failure, don't look at yourself as, oh, I've failed miserably in everything in life. It's just one step where you faltered.
Right.
Don't be so hard on yourself. That's, for me,
Yeah.
I think that's the best form of self-love.
So I guess from what you said, empathy being the most important, one of the most
Yes,
important traits
yes,
in your life.
yes.
Wouldn't that translate into being a much better actor? Because you empathize with the character that you're reading in terms of, in whatever manner.
Yeah, I mean, if I have so much empathy, if I'm playing a negative role, I don't know if that's gonna work.
I mean,
it's.
See, empathy is empathy, right?
Empathy is empathy, but yeah, I mean, see, anything that I feel today, I use it in my art form. Like, if I feel sad, if I feel numb, all of it, if you're a good human being, right, you open to your emotions.
Right.
You're open to your feelings. You acknowledge your emotions. You just put it on screen.
Right.
It always helps you. If you're just numb and you criticize yourself, camera catches everything. Everything. Like, even if you pretend, you cannot pretend. The camera is going to catch you.
Yeah.
So, just be your true self everywhere.
True. So, for all the things that we spoke,
Yeah.
there's this one thing that we did not touch upon, which I also would personally feel that, would probably have been something that, brought about a lot of calmness to your life.
Yeah.
Which is your 2 dogs.
Oh my God, my babies. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'd be also, very big contributor in your
Huge.
anxiety and, your
Huge.
just
Yeah,
that
yeah,
whole jittery feeling that you have sometimes
yeah,
just
yeah.
getting down.
The best part of my day after work is when I walk in through that door and they greet me and jump on me. That's what I feel is the best version of unconditional love. It calms me to such an extent because irrespective of what I go through in the day, if I've had a bad day, if I'm fighting with someone, anything, the love that they give is just unconditional. No judgment, nothing. I love them. I love them too much. I mean, if I could, I'd just have more and more. I'm trying to. Yeah.
So you adopted a dog
Yes.
in lockdown, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's an indie.
That's an
So
indie.
could you just please share the story about that?
So what happens is, right, people like puppies. They want to just get a puppy, play with it, chill with it. And then eventually when it grows old, has a skin infection, has something or the other, you just leave it. You wouldn't do that to your family. Would you do that to your parents? No. You wouldn't do that to your kids? No. Why do that to that animal? It's not a toy. Stop abandoning pets and just leaving them on the road. They don't know how to function. They depend on us. We have to feed them. We have to take care of them. And they want nothing. They give us so much love. And all you do is just abandon them. So Brownie we found him right outside our gate. He had a horrible skin infection. And he had like a leash. So he did belong to someone. He would howl and cry in pain, so much pain. It was too bad. Till date, it's been 3 years I have him. He still gets scared to get inside the car, because what my vet has presumed is that he was taken in the car, just left in the middle of the road. He randomly howls. He cries when we put him in the car. We try to take him somewhere. So the years of trauma that they face, and the worst part is they can't even express themselves. They can't talk. You can talk. You can talk about your trauma. You can talk about your pain. They don't have the capability of doing that. But they still manage to show you unconditional love. So that speaks volumes, right? Don't do that. Just because you're bored at home and you need some company, you just want to get a pet, don't. You can't, don't. You still love animals and you want to help out? Start feeding. I carry dog food in my car. I carry cat food in my car. Just start feeding. Do small little things. Be kind to the animals around. You can't keep a pet at home. You can't have that responsibility. If you're not 100% sure, please don't get them home. They are way better off on the road or wherever they are. Don't get them home. Get them accustomed to the love, to the food, to that lifestyle, and then abandon them. That's cruel to a different extent. You'd rather just leave the puppy on the road. He'll manage. He'll do better without you. Don't do that.
Was that experience with Brownie what inspired you to do more for animals, for dogs?
Absolutely.
Were you always?
I was always an animal lover. I was very, as a kid, I connected more to animals than humans.
Okay.
I still do, actually. I mean, I'm an actor, but I feel animals have a different way of showing they have a different language. It's just so pure, it's very unconditional. And I think that's what attracts me to helping them out. And it's great. So, I mean, I was not completely into, I would feed dogs here and there if I see someone injured. But I started volunteering at NGOs, and I started reaching out to people. I started going for adoption drives. And I'm passing the message on because I saw it in my own life. I saw how my baby today, I can't survive without him. So, I mean, whoever's left him, your loss. So, after seeing the pain he's gone through, after personally seeing how he cries and he howls, and it's really painful. So once I saw that is when I started creating more awareness, and I try to do as much as I can.
Right.
And yeah, just pass the message on.
But you also have 3 cats though.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But they just So I feed them, they come home and they are in their own vibe completely.
Oh.
But yeah, my house becomes a zoo. Like, absolutely.
Do they get along with your dogs?
No, not at all.
Not at-
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm controlling 2 cats here and then the 2 dogs are coming from there and I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're perfect for that, having like 13,
I'm the
14
crazy
dogs.
cat lady. I'm officially the crazy cat lady. I love it. Please give me the title.
Fair enough. Stuff like you carry food and,
Yes.
for people who are very busy, they don't have the resources to be able to help a dog.
See, there are a lot of, over social media, there are a lot of NGOs you just have to pay them every month. They will get the food on your behalf. If you can't physically go out and feed them, just contribute to an NGO. We have so many out there. And they have this monthly thing going on as well, where you pay you can, I think, foster or adopt a dog online, and they will send you all the details. Like, there are puppies, they are up for adoption. You can take care of it by, paying for the expense, paying for the food, paying for the medical bills. You will get the full receipt, you will get the bills, you will get absolutely everything. So, you don't have the time, you have the money, do that.
Right.
It'll make you feel better. Trust me on this, it's not about them. It's as much as it's about you. It'll make you feel so good. And once you start doing it, you won't stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've heard, some very, very, what you mentioned right now about Brownie, the way you found Brownie, and so I've heard some really gruesome stories of, I have a friend also who rescued a puppy at very, very young age, and although a very good puppy and plays really nicely with you and stuff like that, but sometimes you can see the territorial behavior that came from that very childhood trauma that it's just so tough to...
Absolutely. Like the way we carry our childhood traumas into our current life.
Right.
Like, there'll be something from your childhood you don't even remember, which is in your subconscious mind, and it triggers you today.
Yeah.
It brings your anxiety up. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. They have been chained. You don't know what their past is. They probably chained to one spot. And that's why when you see aggressive strays, right, on the road, and they come charging at you, it's because they've been hit before. They have been attacked by a human being. Why should they trust you? If you want to go and pet a dog and it randomly comes and charges at you, it's because the dog has been hit by a human being before, your same kind.
Yeah.
So you need to understand, you need to be very patient, and you don't know what they've been through. So
Yeah. I mean, if you're going for something like that, then
it's a big responsibility.
Yeah, and also like you said, you're just gonna go pet a dog.
You can't just go and pet a dog like that.
Exactly. And if you're going to be ready for what's gonna happen.
Like, if you don't know, if you just randomly approach another human being and they are having a bad day, they'll just snap at you. So it's the same. We are no different than animals.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those things a lot of us don't understand, and a lot of us don't realize till we're experiencing it.
Yes.
Stuff like so I knew about this, but like my father, so he said, oh, so he's a male dog, right? I'm like, yeah, he's a male dog. He's like, but I've heard that the females are, they behave a lot better, and they're much easier to handle. I'm like, there are like different things and all of that. So I told him, but one more thing about the female dogs. So he asked me about neutering. He's like, does that happen with them also? I said, of course, that happens. He's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, but why? I'm like, because they menstruate, they're in heat. He's like, oh, they menstruate. I'm like, yeah, of course. And then he's like, yeah, of course they do. I mean, they're mammals as well. And he's like, oh, yeah. I mean, because even when I heard about it just a year or two before speaking to him, for a second, I'm like, oh, it happens with them also. I'm like, yeah, obviously, you idiot, it does. I mean, no, but it's just such basic ignorance that so many of us have. Like, even that right now, even though I'm very open to learn a lot of things, I had that basic ignorance. And when I got Brian, my vet told me, oh, yeah, his teeth's going to fall off. No, his teeth are going to fall off? Like, you idiot, obviously they're going to fall off. But yeah, it's just common stuff that one...
But, I mean, they're like babies,
Yeah,
they are.
like babies.
Yeah, they are like babies.
And yeah, I mean, it was kind of the wrong time to have this interview because we just started the workday, and now this conversation has made me just feel a lot more like I want to just go home to Brian. So
you can go home to yours, I'll go home to mine.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. It was very great interacting with you to learn about your journey, and I am definitely looking forward to interacting with you again.
Yes.
Because of
The third
some upcoming things that are
Yes,
that
yes.
they're going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
So, what's in the works for you now? What do you see yourself?
See, I can't talk about that,
Ah,
but
okay.
we all know the third season's coming out.
Right.
So hopefully I'll see you when, and that's going to come out soon. Can't tell you
Right.
when. Please do not ask me when it's coming out. I don't know. But
I mean, even if you do it, I'm going to tell, so it's fine.
I can't. Can't.
You can't.
I can't.
That's fair enough. But before I leave you, do you see yourself, wanting to do something like a feature film in the future, or are you more comfortable playing a character throughout a series?
I want to play as many characters as possible. Like
Nice.
as many new characters as possible. Try to get into the skin of different characters, make a new character. I'd love to do that.
Right.
So I want to get more into action films. I want to do something which is a little more different, slightly more different than what I have been portraying all these years. I mean, I love Shabnam, but I want to be a little more badass.
So, I mean, what I loved about this interaction the most is that, we just didn't talk about acting or characters or, stuff like that, but we went a little bit in depth about how an actor would navigate their lifestyle. And, a lot of interviews people are watching, and I'm nothing against that, it's that people are watching for fun. They want to know a little more about the characters that they love and a little personal life. But there are some people who are just scrolling through and they randomly, get this a hit of inspiration with a conversation, like where an actor like you who's definitely done very well for herself already and is on the rise, is giving a reassurance to people. So I think that's something that I really appreciate, and thank you so much
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
insisting that we have a conversation like this.
Yes.
Because while having it, I just feel a lot more energized and better. So thank you for doing that for us, and thank you for being here.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much. I just hope this message, if someone's having a bad day or they need a bit of inspiration, if I could help one person,
Yeah.
this is all.
I mean, Shabnam can help more people than Guddu and his child. So, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.